There you go.
Okay, I'm sorry. No, that's okay. And I should introduce Lisa Pascuzzi as the new Board of Finance Recording Secretary. Welcome, Lisa. This is her first meeting, so thank you for joining us and recording the two meetings here. So we're opening this special meeting of about the filling the vacancy on the board. And I was just explaining that an issue came up about one of the sitting Board of Finance members' term of office and whether it's expired on the day after the election by state statute or November 21st, when the normal changeover of all newly elected people occurs. And in this case, whether I was just explaining that after seeking state and town opinion, that whether or not the date should have been November 8th. And that's what in question. Dated as November 21st. It's been on the town website that way. It's been communicated in various documents, including ballot information, length of terms, and communications with the Secretary of the State's office. It was certified by the town clerk. And the legal opinion is that is, in effect, means that the end of Jim's term is November 21st. So he will stay seated and vote on all the festivities of the evening. So
That makes sense. Make you all, I mean, political football for the last 3 hours. Fine. So now that we're done with that.
okay. Are there any other, I mean, I know there are tons of questions about them. I would rather not tie up this meeting with that. I would rather go to the matter at hand. If anyone wants to ask or add anything about that.
No, do I need to we have to reseat Lisa?
Okay. Do we need to do that on recording? I think we should.
Yeah. I make a motion to see Lisa as the alternate.
Second. All in favor of seating Lisa as the alternate? Aye. Oppose? Abstentions? Okay, thank you. Thanks for pointing that out. All right, you notice on your agenda, the reason for my leaving, I needed to call this meeting. In addition to that, I wrote a note to the Board of Finance when I shared this calling of the meeting. And in its stance, it's for practical reasons that, you know, I received a letter of interest from a resident and believe we should consider that letter. Peter Tanaka's resignation was formalized and from the board last week, and it was effective Sunday, November 12th. State statute and the candidate's interest in a large number of incoming Board of Finance members without prior Board of Finance experience and the press of the budget season upon us prompted me to act. So having said that, I've received I received the letter from Jason Ross. Jason, wave so you can introduce yourself. He's a resident in town. I'm gonna have him talk a little bit about himself, but before that, I just want to introduce him. That he wrote a letter of interest that lays out some of this. He's almost lifelong resident of town, although he was served as a Marine in active service for 5 years and was away from town, made the choice at some point in his career there that he was deciding to come back to the state to raise his kids. And he's also been at the Army National Guard here in Connecticut and elsewhere too, right? No, you've served in other states.
Yeah, when I was on active duty.
Right. And works at Pratt & Whitney. So Jason, is there anything you want to add? I probably will open it up to some board questions if you.
I mean, I pretty much covered the lifelong resident. In the last couple of years, felt the draw to get more involved, and I saw this opportunity and wanted to take it.
Thank you. And did everyone receive and look at the letter? Yeah. Okay. In addition, just before the meeting, about a half hour before I saw that the Republican Town Committee has nominated Jim Bulick as a candidate for the vacancy. So he is also here. Jim, would you like to say anything? I think a lot of people in the room know you.
Sure, finishing up my term as selectman, that should be ending very shortly. I have served on the Board of Finance in the past as chair and also the VIP as its chair. So I have a pretty good idea how it works.
Thank you. Thank you. Does anyone on the board, well, first of all, is there a nomination on the board?
Can I share a piece of information?
Oh, I'm sorry. Is this about the other thing?
It is. So, according, and our attorney has weighed in on this, after receiving that letter.
Mhm.
A selectman cannot be seated to the Board of Finance, and it's any salaried. Anyone salaried by the town cannot be seated on the Board of Finance, and currently Jim is still seated as a selectman. So I just want you to have,
21st, right?
correct, I just want you to have all the information, as you move forward.
All right.
And it's 9-210 is the statute.
Thank you for that. Is there a nomination on the floor or on the team?
I'll move to nominate Lisa Roth for the building vacancy.
I second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. I'm gonna allow the board to ask any questions of the candidate since he's in the room, if you want, or open discussion.
I have a question because, about minority representation. So you're not a registered Democrat? Is that correct?
No, I'm registered Republican.
Okay.
I'd just like to say, I think it's excellent that you offered a letter of,
Interest?
thank you, a letter of interest, and, it's always wonderful to have somebody who truly wants to be here to serve. So thank you.
Actually, I'll answer that, Jason. I appreciate you stepping up. I've gotten to know your wife a little bit and, I appreciate the commitment by both of you, to help the community out. I hope you know what you're getting into. But no, I appreciate you serving. Quite frankly, I think this town needs a lot more fresh, new voices on these boards. Instead of regurgitating the same 12 people, blocking seats election after election, so.
Well, I've served 13 years. I think it's a great place to be.
No offense. But no,
Point noted.
I appreciate a fresh voice, so thank you for stepping up.
Do you mind if I read your letter since it hasn't really made it out into the public scape? Is that all right with you all?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Dear Ms. Summers, please consider me as a candidate for Willington's Board of Finance. As a nearly lifelong resident of town, a veteran of the Marine Corps and the Army National Guard, and a current employee of Pratt & Whitney, I feel I can bring a unique perspective to the board. I grew up in town and ultimately decided to come back to raise my 2 daughters. I have strong ties to the Willington of the past and of the future. I was raised to have a sense of duty toward my community. Now that my time in uniform has come to an end, I feel that getting involved with the town government is the best way for me to continue serving. I would like to honor Willington's history while also doing whatever I can to ensure the success of the town and its citizens in the future. While serving in the military, I learned how to work effectively with people from all walks of life to accomplish the given mission. Whether my other crewmen were cowboys from Texas, surfers from California, or farmhands from Nebraska, we all had to communicate effectively to achieve mission success. While in combat, we often had to be flexible, adjust the initial plan, and come to a consensus on how to complete our mission on time and safety. I am currently employed at Pratt & Whitney's Development Test Department. Our goal is to put the developmental engines through their paces, so when that model goes to production, it will be safe and reliable for our customers. Thousands of parts make up one engine. If one of those parts doesn't meet the standard, it will jeopardize the integrity of the engine. The Board of Finance has an overarching responsibility to suggest how the town should appropriate funds. Finance has an overarching members must be mindful that each decision, whether large or small, directly impacts the people in town. I pride myself on being someone who pays close attention to detail as I work toward a strong product. I have experience in communicating effectively, even in extremely stressful situations, to achieve positive outcomes. And I have a love for this town and a desire to see it thrive. Thank you for considering me as a possible appointee to the Board of Finance. Sincerely, Jason C. Ross. Thank you, Jason. Are there any other nominations from the table? Is there any other discussion?
I don't want to be, we've never actually met. I know you. I clearly know Bree, and I don't want to belittle your willingness to serve in any capacity. I don't know why we had to have this emergency meeting tonight.
I do, I think I do.
All of a sudden, we,
I'm very well aware of that emergency.
That's right, I mean, I think it's.
Well, like, you wonder why we have trouble getting people to send news, that politics is ridiculous, we need to do better, so.
Do it in December. I don't, I'm gonna make a motion that we table this to the December meeting. Yes, second. Motion on the floor.
There's a nomination on the floor and there's a motion on the floor. Not really certain. I asked for nominations.
No, you can't do that. You have to finish what you started and vote on it.
If you get the second, you can take action on that.
Is there a second? Hearing none. And hearing that there's no more discussion. So I'm gonna call the question then. All in favor of Jason Ross filling the vacancy on the Board of Finance? Say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? One abstention. Motion passes. Thank you to both the candidates for being here. Want to adjourn, yeah.
No, none of your members are online, but it's a hybrid meeting. And the rules of it are roll call vote.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Just to be
yeah,
safe,
even though they're in the room.
I would do so.
Let's have a roll call vote, just to make sure that we have that covered. Just thinking, do you mind calling the roll call? The thing is, you'll need to go off the template on the top, because unless you can read our little erstwhile name tags.
Let me try. Okay, I'm just going from left to right. Stephanie Summers,
Yes,
Jeffrey Prusa,
Abstain.
Christina Mailhouse,
Yes.
Joseph Sherrill,
Abstain.
Peter Tanaka.
Not a
So
member.
Peter's not-
Not a member.
he's not, that's the vacancy.
Not Peter Freakin.
He's
James
not-
Marshall,
Yes.
Jim Gilligan,
He's not here.
and Elizabeth Wolf.
Yes.
We have 6 in favor, 2 abstentions,
Four.
Four in favor.
Four in favor.
4 in favor. 2 abstentions.
One abstention.
Well,
No,
No, Joe.
Joe, did you add? And did you vote differently when you were? Okay, okay. then seeing that the business of this meeting is concluded, I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everybody. And again, if you want to come to the regular meeting, please, come back in and go through the same process of getting into the meeting on the online. Okay,
Thank you, Jason.
you can stop the recording.